Championship Tuesday has arrived in Denver, Colorado. It's been a long week. We've had great softball this week, and we're finally ready to crown a national champion here today. Game 2 this morning, and if necessary, Game 3 this afternoon. The Rogers State Hillcats won yesterday. They are one win away from a national title, but Cal State Dominguez Hills is very confident in their ability to win both games today and take that walnut and bronze trophy back to Southern California. Alongside Leah Secondo, I'm Brendan Gulick. It is a little bit chilly this morning, but it's certainly sunny, and that's the more important part because we've got some rain in the forecast beginning around 4 o'clock this afternoon, so they move it up an hour to make sure we have good weather for this national championship stage. Leah, we had a great game yesterday. I'm not sure how we could have scripted a better walk-off with a 6-5 victory for Rogers State.
All about getting to this point and having the opportunity to be in a 2-game series and a 1-game series, and we went back and forth as we take a look at how Cal State DH took a early 3-0 lead and utilized the long ball in that piece as well. But good teams always find a way to come back, Brendan.
4 home runs total yesterday, including a couple of 2-run dingers for the Hillcats in the bottom of the 4th inning. Helped make it a 5-5 game. And then Callie Yellen yesterday with a walk-off home run, an incredible walk-off homer to send the Hillcats to a wild, ecstatic victory, 6-5. Here is the final play of the game from yesterday when the Hillcats won it. Callie basically floated around the bases. She was so excited with that walk-off home run. Pretty amazing. Her first at-bat of the day, though she had come on a couple of innings earlier defensively, and the Rogers State won 6-5. All right, we pause momentarily here for the national anthem. Previously, you are serving the United States of America at home and abroad currently, and we appreciate those fine folks here in Denver who have helped us carry this flag out on the field, many of whom are service members or work for local police or fire organizations here in the Denver community. We are awfully excited here to have Championship Tuesday, the 6th day of this championship week. We started with 8 teams that all came in red hot, Leah. Rogers State was really, really impressive this week. They won their first 2 games, got into the winner's bracket. They eventually knocked out the number 1 team in the country that a lot of people thought could be the team to win it all this year in Texas Tyler. But boy, oh boy, these Hillcats just don't stop hitting.
They don't stop hitting, and it seems like the Toros just keep responding. It's a true boxing match right now, and I like the resiliency of these 2 teams left here in Division II. I'm just, as we were listening to the anthem, just thinking about these are the last 2 teams standing here on a Tuesday in, what we are the last day of May, and that says so much for these student athletes, everything that they have gone through the COVID years, etc., and we know them as a team on the field, but we really don't know everything that they've experienced, and you never know what everybody's going through, and it says so much for these young ladies and their coaching staffs to be the last 2 here in Denver.
Beautiful moment as the flag processes out the left field gate here at Metro State. These are the top 2 offensive teams of the week. Cal State Dominguez Hills is hitting .385 as a team over 6 games. They have 69 base hits. They've also drawn 13 walks. They have just torched pitching all week long. And yesterday they scored 5 runs before giving any up, and it looked like maybe that offense was going to carry them to a big victory.
Well, and isn't it fitting because the Toros played almost 11, 12 more games than anybody here, and you look down at the stats, and they've played 2 more games to get to this round. So both teams are really loose. We had an opportunity to spend a great deal of time with them this morning as they were warming up, and everybody's loose and just ready to have some fun, which is what it's all about on the softball field today.
Let's take a look at the batting order for the designated visiting team here, the Hillcats, who are the home team in Game 1. They are the visiting team Game 2. Chelsea Spain, Nicole Price, Lana Gass, Abby Rogers, Bridget Morales, Michaela Bowman, Alexis Watson, Jalen Gibson, Kimberly Presnell. They have used this lineup all week long with Andrea Morales, one of the top pitchers in the country, scheduled to take the circle. But before she goes out there, we're going to see for the first time today, and certainly not for the first time this tournament, Ashley Weiss, who was not the starting pitcher the first couple games of the tournament for the Toros. But I'll tell you what, there's no chance that the Toros are here without Ashley Weiss.
She has made the sophomore, which really now at this point, why not call her a junior, right? Has made 6 appearances. This will be her 7th. A 4.32 ERA in this championship series. Don't be deceived by that, folks. There's been exceptional hitting by everyone in this tournament championship all week long. She is 2-0 with 24 innings pitched. Coming in on the season, a 2.50 as the sophomore heads out to the circle with a 21-8 record overall on the year.
Ashley having a really nice tournament. She's worked around some tough instances
Absolutely.
for sure. Let's take a look at the defense behind her. It includes the outfield, Claudia Valencia, Kiana Abalera, and Alex Davis from left to right. Around the diamond, they've been this way all week long. Amara Labanog at the hot corner. Raquel Jaime, the hot hitter, is at shortstop. Shanoa Au, the second baseman. Kaylee Hull homered yesterday. She's at first. Actually had 3 RBIs yesterday in total. And Maya Lopez, the freshman catcher who has homered 3 times this tournament, including a big one yesterday as well. Don't forget about Miss Lopez. She is catching Ashley Weiss. 57 degrees, sunny skies, and sombreros. That's a great way to keep yourself out of the sun.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, these two teams have had a borderline unfair amount of fun here this week. And when you're playing for a national championship, it's easy to be loose. Right now, maybe the Hillcats a little looser because they only need to win once today. But the Toros made it very clear they think they can get it done twice this afternoon. First pitch on Championship Tuesday in there for a called strike. We are underway at 11:03 a.m. at Metro State University in Denver. Mario Calabrese, our home plate umpire. Chelsea Clark is down at first. Eddie Hall umpiring down at third. Congratulations to them on their selections for this national championship game as well. Chelsea Spain leading things off, 265 on the season. Spain has had a pretty good week offensively, hitting at the top of the order for the Hillcats. Upstairs, you see a lot of the young ladies on both teams wearing short sleeves, but a few are in the long sleeves. It's 57 degrees, it's sunny, but it is breezy, and I think it's probably fair to say that this is the coolest that it's been at any point in the 6 days we've been here.
Yes, even during the rainstorm, and I think, you know, with the 11 a.m. start this morning, the wind was blowing extremely hard out yesterday by noon when we started. Extremely hard, like gusts, 20, 30 miles an hour. We are not feeling that type of a feel today.
Spain over the top of it for strike 3. 1 out for Nicole Price. These two teams I mentioned have been so good offensively this week. Their pitching staffs, I think in spurts, have been really good. You know, we've talked about this a little throughout the week, but perhaps you're just joining us for the first time here. And look, Andrea Morales is very arguably the best pitcher in Division II this season, as Price flies one down the left field line. That ball carried pretty well, but it is into foul ground and out of play.
And watching Valencia try to track that one down, she started at an angle straight across and then quickly started a dart out. There's not a lot of room leading to the bullpen, and fortunately, she does have her bullpen crew out there kind of guiding her a little bit, but that just shows the way the wind's kind of spinning around today towards left field.
I thought that ball actually got out of play, but on that side angle, it was clearly still catchable.
Yes.
Just a tough one to catch. So Price gets a bit fortunate. Anyways, Morales has been very good, and certainly don't want to take anything away from what she did yesterday, but she got touched up a little bit. As this one's tipped back into the glove, 2-2. If there's a team that's proven they can hit her, it's this group of Toros.
Mm-hmm.
These two teams played in the first winner's bracket, Game 5 of the tournament on Friday. And Rogers State beat Cal State Dominguez Hills 10-2. But Dominguez Hills scored those 2 runs despite the fact they had 12 base hits. They left 8 runners in scoring position. Just didn't come up with a clutch hit that day, but certainly showed that they were capable of getting to the unanimous first-team All-American. Yesterday, they jumped her for 5 runs, and it took a brilliant relief effort from Michaela Hillman and some clutch hitting for the Hillcats to come back and win.
I think both staffs, coaching staffs, did a really nice job kind of meandering through, utilizing their pitching staffs to keep the bats off kilt.
Boy, Price lofts one way out to left field. That's over Valencia's head into the fence. Nicole's thinking 3, and she dives in with a triple. The Hillcats, an early exclamation point.
Claudia Valencia in left field likes to challenge. She loves to challenge and take away that base hit. However, I think a solid indication of what the wind is doing came off that foul ball, the previous pitch, and possibly Claudia Valencia should have given a couple extra steps, just the way the wind go, not taking anything away from the power of that hit, but the wind and the power together have now put a runner on third.
But to your point, the scouting report doesn't say play Price deep. She was positioned where she's been positioned all week. That's only the 5th extra base hit Nicole has had all week, and her first triple of the season in this, their 68th game played. So that's a really big hit for the Hillcats early as Lana Gass skies one in foul ground, and Labanog fights the sun off to make the catch. We have also seen this week how poor defense, and I'm not just talking about that play, that wasn't poor, that was a good hit, but I mean defensive mistakes, missed cuts, certainly errors, have compounded and provided really big innings for the offensive team. Both of these two teams experienced that in some way, shape, or form. The Hillcats have only committed 2 errors all tournament, but they came yesterday and led to 4 unearned runs.
Yes.
The Toros have made 10 errors in the tournament, but they've been able to out-hit most of them. Abby Rogers is the real deal.
And Coach Mayer from Dominguez Hills was quite vocal about that in the press conference yesterday, saying, hey, look, we got to keep them in the ballpark, and we've got to play better defense. And we didn't do that. But we will be doing it a little bit different come game 2.
You're going to hear from both head coaches and a few student athletes coming up during this half-inning break, including from Callie Yellen, who hit yesterday's walk-off homer. She was batting for this young lady, Abby Rogers, who is one of the top hitters in the tournament this week. Rogers fouls one straight down. Abby has 14 home runs this season, 55 RBI, but she has been as good as anybody in the tournament field, batting .545 this week, 6 for 11, with 8 runs driven in. She's walked twice and homered 3 times. Rogers has a full count. Here's her latest home run in the tournament. She had a 2-homer game early on and then clobbered one against Cal State Dominguez Hills a couple of days ago. Rogers walks. There are a couple of hitters in both of these lineups that if you miss over the middle of the plate, you need you don't need measuring tape to figure out where they land. You need a satellite.
Absolutely, and Abby knew that as the train moves on in the dugout.
Bridget Morales, the new batter, and I'll tell you what, she hasn't been a real thumper this week until yesterday. hit a big 2-run homer. I think maybe she's gotten a bit forgotten in the middle of the order, as Bridget takes a little bit off the plate outside. I also think this is a really important start to the game for Ashley Weiss, because the Toros are hoping that they can hit the ball today the way they have all week. But if they can get in the dugout without giving up a run, I think it'll help them feel like they've got some momentum right away, and it'll help Weiss's confidence.
Yeah, I think that certainly the K to start the game on Spain kind of settled things in a little bit. And now the base on balls kind of masks things a little bit as well, but you've got the force now at second base.
Weiss yesterday gave up 4 runs on 6 hits over 3 1/3 innings. And she gave up the second of those 2-run homers, one to Morales and then one to Jalen Gibson. That's when she was taken out. Price at third, Rogers at first. 2 outs in the first. And it appears that outside corner today is not going to be as accessible. It's been a little hit or miss depending on who's umpiring this tournament. Right-handed hitters sometimes have really had to protect the outer half of the plate. Sometimes it's been a little bit more hitter-friendly.
Good call right at the knees. There's a little ooh and ah in the stands, but that's a really good call. Nice job turning that over.
So the count's full. Rogers will be off at first.
Mixing up the speeds. A lot of room out in the outfield right now. That the outfield is pretty much a step off the track.
Well, Morales has not been well balanced in the box this entire at bat. Give her credit for fighting, but Weiss is definitely in her head right now.
And Weiss is not afraid to throw that changeup at 3-2.
This time a heater, and it's fouled into the dugout. Good long at bat here. Morales seeing a bunch of pitches in this first inning. That said, considering how many at bats a lot of these players have had against Weiss now, and vice versa when Morales is out there, you kind of have an idea what she's got in her arsenal.
Absolutely.
Way upstairs, and a great walk. If you're Bridget Morales, you really fought hard to earn that base. And now Michaela Bowman bats with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
And Labanat going over right away, as well as Jaime, and just saying, hey, we're good. We're good. Coach Mayer's going to come out here. He wants to have a talk with his infield and outfield. But I like the leadership there on the left side of the field, just kind of coming in, and you're good. And she is. She didn't miss by much. You're trying to pitch around some good batters in a difficult situation with 4 and 5 who have certainly launched some rockets here over the week. And, I think this is a good opportunity to have the conversation. But if I'm the Toros right now, I'm not too rocked. I'm still feeling pretty good here and getting out of the inning.
Here's Michaela Bowman. Bowman has had a pretty good week offensively, including a game-tying RBI single yesterday. That was her first run batted in, but she is 5 for 12 this week. She's also walked and been hit by a pitch. She's found her way on base a whole bunch, and at the moment there is nowhere to put her.
And if she could get up in this count, Brendan, she's going to look at something pretty good. Outfield switching now, shading a little bit more towards left field. There's a huge gap out in right center. Huge gap. You gotta have your skates on to get on that one.
Shoots this one foul, and it gets out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bowman, a senior, one of a couple seniors in the starting lineup. She and the young lady on deck, Alexis Watson, both in their senior season. And Michaela's got really good pop. 11 doubles, 11 homers, 3 triples on the season. It's a ground ball to third. This is an easy play. Lobanog steps on the bag, and the inning is over. Good job by the Toros. They didn't panic, and they get out of the first inning, escaping a bases-loaded jam. And so as the Toros get ready to come to the plate offensively for the first time, we are still scoreless here in Denver. Well, we promised you we'd have a chance to hear from both Jim Mayer and Andrea Vaughn, their respective head coaches, and a couple of the student athletes. Let's check in on what they had to say after yesterday's walk-off win for Rogers State.
They're fighters, that they don't give in, they don't back down. They're on this relentless pursuit to go get what they came here for. Everyone is so good at this stage of the game, and it's just who's going to be grittier and who's going to be tough and get it done. And that's what they did today. Super proud of all of them. You just got a glimpse of what we have done all year.
That's what I've dreamed of since I was a little girl, and to see that happen today was pretty amazing.
But as soon as we do something, they do something. And they're obviously a great team. They're really on a roll, and they're tough competition.
We don't get beat twice. We've never gotten beat twice all season. So we expect a long day tomorrow, and we're going to come up on top for sure. We're not scared.
Well, the biggest thing I took out of that, Leah, is that there's a lot of mutual respect.
Yeah.
I think both teams know that it's a best of three, which means it's not over, so forget it. But by the same token, Callie Ellen, boy, that's pretty cool for her to say this is what I've literally dreamed about. It
Absolutely.
came true.
And you think about it, and you think about going back to her pinch hit homer, and then to cap it off with an opportunity at a game-winning home run. It's what every young girl dreams about when you're growing up and have an opportunity to do it on this stage in this setting, and be a Division II college student athlete is just, I mean, this is the best it gets. This is the best it gets. When you graduate, there aren't any opportunities. There's some pro leagues around now that are developing here in the States, but 98% of these young women will go on to their careers, which they've gone to college for, and it's impressive.
Amara Labanog, the leadoff hitter. It is cool for them to recognize that this is the stage they have always worked for, and they have such great support from their family and friends this week, and especially yesterday and today. I know school's been out for a little while in Claremore and in Southern California, but the alumni bases are pretty active. That ball's in fair ground. Well done.
Wow.
Good play. Jalen Gibson snags it
Oof.
and throws across in time. 1 out. Take a look at the batting order for the Toros, and it's the same that they had from yesterday. Labanog, Abalera, Jaime, Valencia, Lopez, Au, Sturm, Davis, and Hull. Sturm and Hull were really tough yesterday with a couple of big base hits. And Ashley Weiss is pitching. Kiana Abalera takes down and away for ball 1. Abalera trying to set the table here and get the Toros going. Kiana 318 this week, 7 for 22. A couple of doubles, but mostly singles for her. Wow,
Woo.
Off of Morales. Hope she's all right. And it's a base hit, but all attention right now on the unanimous first-team All-American, Drea Morales, who is down in the center of the diamond. Oh, boy. Well, Michaela Hillman is going to warm up. Our thoughts with Drea right now. Hopefully Drea is all right. Obviously took a line shot to the leg. Well, we certainly hope she's going to be able to continue. I can't imagine what's going through the minds of the Hillcats at the moment. A lot of really concerned folks in the seats. Looking at the body language of some of the Hillcat defenders around the field. the impression they are growing more worrisome too. Well, Andrea sits up. Let's see where it got her.
The velocity of the ball coming off the bat right in that knee area. And, you know, you can't say enough. The technology has increased. The players are stronger and so good as a breath is taken. And Morales taking her time here, and rightfully so. Any pitcher that gets out there, Brendan, without even wearing the protective mask,
it's crazy.
I give them 100% kudos. That's why I was talking about Labanog the last few games, just the way that she charges in, unlike any other player that I've seen in all the years I've been covering ball. And a good job. Teammates just kind of having her take just a little extra second. She's smiling. That's always great to see.
One collective exhale all around this facility, that's for sure. Glad she's okay, but obviously going to keep a close eye on her the rest of the way here. So Abalera aboard with a base hit, and the new batter is Raquel Jaime, and you can't really lose your focus with Jaime because she's as good a hitter right now in this tournament as anybody. Through the right side, base hit. Throw comes into second base. Abalera gets there ahead of it though.
Jaime, what a tournament, huh? Just, I'd like to take some hitting classes from Rachel, no question about it. And, you know, I like the thought process in the box. You know, you're going to get a pretty good pitch probably on that first pitch, knowing that Morales is, you know, you're the first batter up and jumping on it right away and squaring a real good shot now.
Remember those old This Is Sports Center commercials, like the old-fashioned ones? They had a bunch of athletes coming in. One that comes to mind is the Albert Pujols commercial where he's standing in front of the copy machine.
Copy machine?
Yep, and you know, somebody makes a comment that he's a machine, and the machine, you know, talks back, I'm not Albert. That's kind of how I feel about Jaime. She's
Absolutely.
a machine. She literally is almost inhuman the way she just goes up, and every at-bat, she hits it hard. And, I mean, she's batting almost 700 for the tournament. It's kind of ridiculous. She's now 15 for 24.
Yeah, talked about. She was pretty vocal in the press conference. We're coming here to play too.
By the way,
today, you know, and that's the philosophy you have to have. And you have a leader like that proves it. Not every leader is a little bit different. I've played with people, and I know you have too, where they're the vocal leader, right? And then you have the quiet leader who kind of just is the one that gets it done, whatever it is, on the field, on the court, whatever.
Through the right side base hit, Alderetti, the pinch runner at third base, fell down. Rogers snaps a throw back down there. She is safe. Now there was a signal by the umpire. She would have been safe anyways on the obstruction back to the base. But the bases are loaded now on 3 straight sharply hit singles.
Sometimes that bag just slips away, and a good job getting back to it quickly. But as Brendan mentioned, with the delayed dead ball signal, she would have been granted the bag.
Maya Lopez bats with the bases juiced in 1 out. The Hillcats left them loaded without scoring in the top of the frame. The Toros have squared up all 4 balls they've put in play so far. Only 1 out. Maya Lopez, deep foul ball. Lopez has been fun to watch this week, 9 for 18 at the plate. With a double, 2 homers, and 7 RBI. She also a freshman catcher. She and Rogers both have been 2 of my favorite players to watch the whole tournament, frankly. Lopez only had one hit yesterday. She also struck out and had a sacrifice bunt. Ahead in the count here, 2-1. Maya in the air, well hit, deep center field. Presnell on the track pulls it in, and she throws into second base to split the runners. But the Toros on the board first. Maya Lopez, a sac fly, and Cal State Dominguez Hills leads 1-0. Here's Shanoa Au. Au looking for a base hit that would really lift her spirits offensively. Claudia Valencia takes second base with no throw on the steal. Au's had one big hit this tournament. She had a bases clearing double, but otherwise has struggled at the plate. A total of 3 hits and 17 at bats. Fans at one up over her eyes. 0-2.
Her bat speed on that one, she wanted to get all of it and rip it. No question about it. And bit on the high ball.
Throw another one. We've referenced it several times, but the Toros have mostly scored more than one run in an inning. When they score, it's not often just once. Au chases one out of the zone for strike 3. Morales absorbs the injury and gives up only 1 run when facing bases loaded and 1 out. Tough situation. Toros are pleased. They're on the board first. Hillcats feel good about the fact it's only 1-0. We're off and rolling here in Denver on NCAA. One nothing as we start the top of the second inning, and it's so cool to be in the heart of downtown Denver. But this is a city that has something for everybody, and it's really, really fun to see all the outdoor activities now as the weather starts to get considerably better this time of year in Denver. This is a really fun town. I don't care if you like winter sports or summer sports. If you like being outside, Denver is a terrific place.
No oceans, but we got water, and these guys know how to work it.
Alexis Watson grounds out to shortstop for the first out. I have to imagine, though, that given that it is 57 degrees, if you're not wearing a wetsuit and you're getting in the water, you're asking for hypothermia.
Absolutely. Got all their wetsuits on, man, and I'm sure they wear their wetsuits for another 2 months, too.
We'll try to show you some cool shots from some other things around the city as the day goes along. We've certainly enjoyed showing you the sights and sounds of Denver, Colorado all week.
I'm going to take a little extra time here for Lopez as took that foul tip.
Hopefully Lopez is all right. Pop back up. You gotta be tough. You're gonna be a catcher. That's for darn sure.
Mario Calabrese recognizing it too, just moderately moving to check the ball and walk around so that she could get her bearings. Yeah.
Yep. There's Jalen Gibson. Gibson hit a big 2-run tater yesterday. Fouls this one away. They were down 5-0 going into the bottom of the fourth yesterday. Morales hit a 2-run shot, and then Gibson jacked this one way over the left field fence to make it 5-4 and brought the Hillcats right back into it.
You know, it was in such the meaty part of the strike zone for her. Got great torque.
1-0 Cal State Dominguez Hills. They need to win this game to force the, if necessary, national championship finale. Gibson fights it off. Ball and 2 strikes. Rogers State University from Greater Tulsa, Oklahoma. Cal State Dominguez Hills out of Greater Los Angeles. Neither team has ever been to the national championship field of 8, let alone won a national title. In fact, Rogers State's only had athletics for about 16 years. Still building their tradition. 2 young teams, but 2 great coaches. In fact, I know it had nothing to do with one another, but when Jim Mayer took over in Dominguez Hills, that's when the Rogers State softball program started back in 2006. Full count now to Gibson. Just missed the inside corner. That was a really good pitch. That's the 3rd walk for Ashley Weiss in the first 8 hitters. Hillcats still only have 1 base hit. Nicole Price, a 1-out triple in the first, but she was stranded at 3rd as Kimberly Presnell comes to the plate. Kimmy's had an awesome week here in Denver. Hitting .571. She's made outs in 4 consecutive at-bats after starting the tournament 8 for 10. She's now 8 for 14 with 6 RBI. As a double and a triple. Using all fields nicely, couple steals. She's been really good out there in center field. Again, squares to bunt.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm telling you, I have never seen Labanog is
uncomfortably close.
Yeah, it's uncomfortably close. I'm nervous for her.
Yeah.
Stuttering, I'm so nervous for her.
Ugh. Well, the good news is, in the other dugout, Andrea Vaughn's father
is
a former dentist who has since retired, so hopefully not necessary, but if it were, he's there. Don't want to joke about someone getting hurt, but the reality is you couldn't pay me enough money to come play defense 5 feet from home plate like that as Presnell flies out.
Without gear on.
So, 1 on, 2 out, back to the top of the lineup card, and Chelsea Spain. That's on the outside corner. Even though Weiss has walked 3 batters, kind of like her demeanor right now.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem to really be fighting it,
no.
Just letting it happen. In the air, very playable. Left center field, long run in, and it's the center fielder, Abalera, that puts it away. The Hillcats' work is done. Cal State Dominguez Hills works around a 1-out walk. 1-0 Toros heading to the bottom of the 2nd. Home half of the 2nd inning, Caitlin Sturm, Alex Davis, and Kaylee Hull do up against Drea Morales. Sturm having a good season. Hoping it can carry over into some good fortune here in this game. Big 2-run single yesterday. That extended the lead from 1-0 to 3-0. The Toros dugout before the game started, a little quieter than normal.
Yeah.
But I think now that they've got the lead and that they've gotten out of a couple of jams with runners on base, especially in that first inning, all of a sudden they've been injected with some life. Grounded toward third. Good throw by Gibson, 1 out.
Gibson has a gun, doesn't she?
Yeah, she really does. Shown it off a couple times. Love that about a third baseman. They're not afraid to let it rip.
Yeah.
Here's Jalen. Alex Davis now. 0-1. Talking about these two programs and how well supported they've been. The alumni base pretty active for the Toros. I met a couple of their softball alums here that made comments they were on the first team that Coach Mayer had overseen. Now here supporting the Toros, hoping that they can watch their team win a national title. Fouled off at the plate. Two one.
So up on the very top, on the left, is Valerie Long, pitcher who's had her records broken. And next to Valerie is Ro Lentz. Spent a lot of time we did this morning talking to each of them. They came in from Dallas and Cali. Ro works in oncology, and Valerie on the left works in pharmaceutical sales. They said that Coach Mayer was definitely the reason, was a big piece of the reason why they came to DH, and they want the opportunity to help these student athletes and be a part with scholarships and money and really get the alumni involved in making the trip and taking time off from their schedules, their career schedules, to be a part of this event this weekend.
I know the players so appreciate the support. And frankly, as a coaching staff, I think you want your alumni base to be active. You want your former players to feel like, hey, we had really good relationships here. This was an important part of our lives. And you current players, here's why, and here's how it's helped me grow, and what can we do to help you?
Right. And the scholarship money is, a little bit different in D2, and each individual institution, it's different. And I love the fact that these women are very passionate still about Toro softball and wanting to make it as best as possible for the next generation.
Kaylee Hull, who homered and had 3 RBIs total yesterday, draws a 2-out walk. We'll go back to the top of the order now with Amara Labanog. Get a look there at Coach Mayer, sitting on the bucket by his lonesome.
And the one thing that Lentz and Long pointed out in our conversation was, well, Coach, the program was in disarray. And when they came in, and Coach Mayer's staff came in that first year, and Jared was not a part of that staff, and they joked about the fact that he was in diapers. That first season, he won more games than the program had ever won. And that was, they were a part of that establishment of the program. So, family, big family.
A lot to be proud of. 1 on, 2 out. The 0-2 pitch from Drea Morales. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Labanog chased one up and out of the zone. So the Toros can't do anything with the 2-out walk they were issued. And we're moving along here nicely this morning. On our way to the 3rd inning. Toros lead at 1-0. cruising along to the top of the third inning. And if yesterday taught us anything, doesn't really matter what the score is. Both these two offenses feel like if they have outs to play with, then give us a bat and let's see what we can do. So right now it's a tight game at 1-0. Rogers State one base hit so far. It came from this young lady, Nicole Price, who tripled over the top of Valencia's head in left field. Claudia still shaded in a little bit, but I think she's back a little further than she was the first time around. I'm sure Price is a little bummed on her first triple of the entire season that she didn't come around to score, but it's a team game. Fouled away. So we're going to have a first-time national champion this year. There has not been a national champion from the state of Oklahoma since 2013, when the Broncos from Central Oklahoma won it all. That one's up and away. There has not been a champion from the state of California since 2011, when UC San Diego took home the national championship. Although last year, Biola, also from Greater Los Angeles, they were the national runner-up. As Price floats one to the left side, and a diving effort, great catch. Valencia made it 1 out.
Hung up just enough to allow the speedy Valencia to get to it, and all smiles as she comes back up, and why not? Love those web gems and the hustle from the outfield.
Lana Gass, the new batter. We just mentioned it, Central Oklahoma is the last team from that state to win a national title. It is such a part of the culture in Oklahoma, this wonderful sport. They've been awesome hosts of the Division I Women's College World Series for many years. And I just think it's cool that so many of the young ladies on this Rogers State team are from Oklahoma, many of them from small towns in Oklahoma.
Yeah, there's a great pot of student athletes for Rogers State to pursue.
Gass hits it into the air where the wind is blowing in. And it hung up there for Davis in right field. Now 2 outs.
And that's a great thing because, you talk about the budgets that the D2 schools have, and you get in a car and maybe 4 hours, maybe 5 hours in a radius of campus is about it. And fortunately for Rogers State, they have an awesome pool to pull from. However, they do go into Cali. Cali's so big, and there's so many great softball players there.
We learned earlier today that the previous long road trip for the Toros was not 4 or 5 hours. You can multiply that times 3. A 14-hour bus trip used to be the routine long destination.
Right.
Is that Humboldt State?
Humboldt State. And so what they do when they're going up there, because you know how great the weather is in Cali, so Humboldt State hasn't been rained out even when they're traveling up there in eons. They'll fly into Oakland, and they still have a long ride.
Abby Rogers inside the bag at third. And she's held to a long single. Rogers continues a nice tournament offensively.
Hanging in on an inside pitch. Down below the knees. But right in there in her sweet spot and driving it down to the corner. Good job by Valencia to smother that one up before it could get to the wall.
Bridget Morales had a heck of an at-bat her first time around, worked a long walk. Weiss hits the outside corner. A lot of room in left center here for Bridget.
Outfield and infield giving a few steps, given 2 outs and 1-1 count. Oh.
The pitch is called a ball. Bridget said, I asked for time. It was never granted.
No, and she's fortunate it was a ball. And you've got to, just because you're asking for it doesn't mean you're going to get granted it. And Weiss was ready to go. Unfortunate that was a ball and 2-1.
High and deep down the left field line, but foul. Left the building, but in foul ground.
They'll go through about 24, 25 dozen softballs this week.
Saw some Metro State University student athletes who were hired this week to go chase those foul balls.
Yeah.
Up and away. Full count now. Be quite a workout. This is game number 15 this week. We play between 14 and 17 total games in the tournament. Now the scoreboard says 3-2.
It should be 2-2.
Should be 2 balls and 2 strikes, right?
It should be 2-2.
Yeah. That one's fouled at the dish. We avoided one if necessary game when Rogers State beat Texas Tyler. But Cal State Dominguez Hills, and we can look at the bracket maybe between innings here. Cal State Dominguez Hills beat North Georgia twice, coming out of the losers bracket in order to get to this national championship.
No, now it should be 3-2.
It should be 3-2, right?
Yeah, now it should be 3-2. And, Rogers State fans saying ball 4 because they're going by the scoreboard. It should be 3-2 now.
Well, admittedly, when they had checked the count a couple pitches ago, the scoreboard was never changed because the umpire never indicated that it needed to be changed.
100%.
It is ball 4.
Wow.
So Rogers to second, Bridget Morales at first base. And Andrea Vaughn having a quick word here with the home plate umpire, Mario Calabrese. Important for everybody to be on the same page. 2 on, 2 out. The Hillcats did not get a clutch hit in the first inning when they had a couple runners on base. And now Abby Rogers is likely to be pinch run for out at second. Remember yesterday, Rogers was pinch run for in the third inning. In the second inning, Natalie Gonzalez came in to run for her, and she is going to be the pinch runner here too. So Michaela Bowman.
Ooh, almost uncorked her whole body on that one. My goodness.
Bowman skies it, and they run out of room. Bowman down in the count, 0-2. Bowman chases a ball up out of the zone, but the wild pitch allows her to reach. What a break. That pitch was nowhere near the strike zone. Bowman with an unbelievable bit of good fortune as Weiss uncorks a crazy pitch.
And the fact that she didn't, it wasn't a foul tip, and that was the biggest blessing. And it goes back to the backstop. But what a great opportunity for Watson now, who has struggled in the box.
Watson swings as hard as anybody I've ever seen play this sport. Yeah. She just doesn't get cheated. And she shoots one in the air pretty good to right center field, but it hangs up in the wind. Davis pulls it down on the track. If this were yesterday, could be a four-run play. Instead, the wind blowing in from right field. And a lot of those balls that were blowing out yesterday are still in play. For the second time in the first 3 innings, the Hillcats leave them loaded, and the Toros lead it 1-0. First pitch in the bottom of the 3rd inning from Drea Morales misses, but not by much. 1 ball, no strikes. Abby Rogers re-enters as the catcher here in the home half of the 3rd. Rogers State, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and they've stranded 7 runners in the first 3 innings. Cal State Dominguez Hills, a run on 3 hits, no errors, they've stranded 3. Maya Lopez, a sacrifice fly that's produced the only run of the game so far. Toros were only able to get 1 run across in the first when they had bases loaded with 1 out. This is Kiana Abalera who scored that run. Last time Abalera was at the plate, she hit a line drive that ricocheted off of the pitcher Drea Morales. It took her several minutes before she was able to continue. 2 hops to the shortstop, Price. Good scoop by Watson. It's in time. Good play. Not a lot of time to get rid of this one.
No, and she was back. I was kind of a little bit surprised that she didn't charge it a little bit more, and knowing the speed going down the base paths there. Nice job and a nice stretch at first base by Watson.
Raquel Jaime singled to right field last time up. She fouls that one into the screen. You know, I wasn't expecting to smell this today because it's kind of chilly, but I smell sunscreen. There is definitely a sunscreen smell here behind home plate. Most everybody has sleeves on. See lots of jackets and hooded sweatshirts, but we definitely had a lot of sunscreen early in the week. Temperatures consistently in the 80s first 3 days of the tournament. But today, good 20, 25 degrees cooler than it was Thursday and Friday. 57 degrees at first pitch. We've warmed up to right around 61 at the moment. Not supposed to get much warmer than this all day. Of course, if you are with us, you realize the game was moved up an hour to avoid some rain in the forecast around 4 o'clock local time this afternoon. Jaime was stranded at 3rd in the first inning. Down the right field line it goes. Fair ball into the corner. Gass getting to it as quickly as she can. Makes a good, strong throw to second. Jaime in with another double. She can flex her muscles all she wants.
My goodness.
That kid is unbelievable.
Shooter right down the line. And that's trouble. Had trouble painted all over it.
She's batting .640 in the 7th game of the tournament. 16 for 25. It's her 6th double of the week. If the Toros go on to win the national title today, you're looking at the MVP. I mean, that is wild. She has already broken the all-time tournament record for hits and for batting average over the course of the tournament. If she can withstand the rest of the day with the average. One ball, one strike to Claudia Valencia. This Cal State Dominguez Hills team is proven to be an awfully resilient group, especially in the postseason. Lost a game in regionals, lost a game in supers, lost the second game they played this week. Had to make their way through the elimination bracket. It's almost like they're comfortable playing with their back against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep hitting.
Ow.
Holding her lower back. Valencia, oh geez. She, in frustration, throws her bat right into Maya Lopez. Get a few sarcastic laughs from behind home plate because Lopez put her arms out at her sides to say, hey, I'm right here, man. Hopefully Claudia's okay. A little levity there for that painful moment. Hate seeing the...
Yeah. You just
by
never
pitch.
know who's behind you, how close
Doink.
they are.
Nope. Claudia seems like she's all right. First and second with one out for Lopez, who hits a pop-up, might be playable. Watson is over, and it just sneaks into the seats. Maya Lopez, 8 runs batted in this week, tied for the lead of the tournament with Abby Rogers. Jaime, by the way, one behind them with 7 RBI this week. How about that? 2 freshman catchers leading the field. Maya, just a freshman, and has been on the radar for Coach Mayer since she was a freshman in high school. He said we met her several years ago, followed her along the way, and became pretty clear we wanted her to be a part of this thing. Had a lot to say about the way she's handled herself. But to your point, after you've played 67 games, you're not a newbie anymore.
No.
2-2. Watson drifts into foul ground, makes the catch. She didn't throw to third base. A good bluff at first, and then Jaime says, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go. And then because of the throw across the diamond, Valencia goes to second. If you're a Hillcat fan, that'll make you pull your hair out.
Absolutely.
That can't happen.
Well, that's the same way that North Georgia was running aggressively against both of these teams. And, I like the thought process running aggressively the whole tournament, I should say, for North Georgia. And, you read scouts and you read tendencies and you see what other teams were doing to be successful. And that little hesitation was enough to get into Watson's head enough and say, you know what, I'm putting my head down and I'm going to see if I can make something happen.
A pop out in foul ground to first base, and 2 runners move up.
Yeah, got to be gutsy. It's a gutsy move.
Al had this same exact situation last time up. Second and third with 2 outs. She struck out. Trying to reverse her fortunes here. She's got a good hitter's count, 2-0. Morales can't find home plate. Drea, one of only 2 pitchers in the NCAA, all levels, with more than 100 wins and more than 1,000 strikeouts in her career. Comes into today, the record of 37-4, 345 Ks this year in 273 innings. She has not been able to strike out as many batters as she typically does this week. She's had it at times, and she's gotten some clutch strikeouts, but in terms of overall volume, the offenses this week have made her work a lot harder than normal. Trying to get another big K here, though. Out takes upstairs. Good eye, ball 4. And they're loaded for Caitlin Sturm.
Well, I think for Morales, she was trying to be cautious, possibly more so to take her chances on the right-handed batter who's batting overall just a little bit less 20, 30 points less in the order and see if she could get out to chase something out there.
So Caitlin Sturm, who's had a really good week offensively, 7 for 17 now, including a couple of extra base hits. Boy, Morales, body language is a little tense at the moment. She's acting kind of angry. This one lofted towards short. Pitching ticked off. Well, it worked out. She's able to get out of it. Gave up the double to Jaime. A hit batter, a walk loaded the bases, but no runs across for the Toros in the third. And just like the Hillcats did in the first and third innings, the Toros leave them loaded. Still 1-0 as we go to the fourth. This National Championship Tuesday has been dominated by more missed opportunities than anything else. Both of these teams have had several big scoring chances, but haven't been able to come up with that real back-breaking hit. Toros scored a run in the first inning on a sac fly as we start the fourth. Cal State Dominguez Hills has stranded 6 runners, 4 in scoring position. Rogers State at the plate now, they've stranded 7. 4 in scoring position, including the bases loaded twice. And there a strike to Jalen Gibson, who walked her first time up. 8-9-1 for RSU in the fourth. Almost feels a little odd that two
Everybody's
teams that
kind
have
of holding their breath right now.
Yeah, there's 2 teams that have just shown such great capability offensively all week.
Yep.
And right now, those offenses are struggling a little bit. Some of that I would say is, wow, I don't know where that missed. Some I would say is due to good pitching. I don't want to take anything away from Weiss or Morales. They're fighting hard today. But I think some of it might be the conditions, because the wind is blowing in today. And that's definitely held up some long hit balls to the outfield. That seemed like a makeup call to me, full count. Some fans looking at each other behind home plate going, wait, what? But Gibson has a full count. Ball 4. Leadoff base runner for the Hillcats. Kimberly Presnell. I don't see any action down in the Toro bullpen. Certainly seen Alyssa Olagi quite a bit this week, but it's been more Weiss than Olagi here of late. It's the second mound visit for the coaching staff, although Jim Mayer made the first one back in the first inning. This is his assistant, Ms. Guerra. Take a look there at weather conditions. It is pretty breezy. I don't know what song this is.
Fans do.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah.
I'm feeling left out of the loop. All right, Presnell flew out to left center last time up. Squares to bunt, pulls back at a strike.
That may have been more of a, let's see where the fielders are moving to than anything, and taking that strike too.
Bunted foul, 0-2.
That changes the scenery.
Sure does. I think it goes to show how important right now the Hillcats think playing for one run is, given how well Presnell's hit this week. They wanted to take the bat out of her hands to sacrifice the runner over. No choice now, though.
Nope.
Well, since taking the strike and then bunting it foul, I should say 3 pretty good pitches in a row. Presnell has approached the right way. This time she hits it in the air to left field. This is dropping quickly, but Valencia's in to squeeze it. 1 out. Get the impression today is going to be the kind of day you got to hit the ball hard on the ground.
Yeah, 100%. Not only is that was a little bit off the end of the bat, but the ball is getting knocked right back into the ballpark as soon as it gets up at its highest point.
Chelsea Spain, 1 on, 1 out. That's popped up to the right side. Au and Davis, and it's the right fielder Davis. 2 outs.
Good job for the call off by Davis.
Spain has struck out, now flat out twice. And we have a pinch hitter, Callie Yellen. This young lady has had quite a magical week, hasn't she? She had a 3-run pinch hit home run earlier in the week. And Andrea Vaughn says, okay, you're the reason we're playing here today with a 1-0 lead in this series. Yellen's home run yesterday in the 7th inning completed a 5-0 deficit, made it a 6-5 comeback win. 4th at bat of the week. Here is that special moment from yesterday. Actually, before we show that home run to you again, we're going to hear what she had to say after the game yesterday.
That's what I've dreamed of since I was a little girl, and to see that happen today was pretty amazing.
Always be ready, and it's always a dream. And Callie has surely been ready.
2 balls and a strike. It was a big moment from yesterday afternoon.
It's crazy. 3 at-bats, 2 of them for homers. And Callie can't get around quick enough to rejoin her team at home plate.
The Toros certainly aren't going to try to give her a good pitch to hit. Gibson at first with 2 outs. Yellen batting for Price, who tripled in the 1st inning. Look how deep the outfield's playing here. Trying to keep everything in front of them. Ball 4. So Yellen draws the walk. And it puts 2 runners on for Lana Gass. The chance of all gas, no brakes. We get a pinch runner out at second base, Rebecca Bell. He's coming in to run for Gibson.
Offensive substitution for Rogers State. Now running at second base, number 12, Rebecca Bell.
Bell officially introduced. Let's see what Gass has in store. Tying run at second, 2 outs. Ashley Weiss looks pretty composed in the circle. And their first strike. Toros have been able to play out on the front foot since they scored in the bottom of the first inning. Rogers State has loaded the bases in the first and third as Lopez goes out to speak with Weiss. Alyssa Olagi continues to stay in the dugout. I would imagine she'd be the next pitcher somewhere along the way if Weiss gets in trouble. But right now, this is Ashley's game. And it should be. She's pitching pretty well.
Yeah, it really is pitching well and being smart, pitching around some of these hot batters.
Wow. That's a really good pitch. Instead, it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Good hitters count for Lana Gass with the best Hillcat batter on deck. That's ball 4. They are loaded for Abby Rogers.
Well, you want a challenge? This is the challenge. Nowhere to pitch around Abby Rogers. Got to go at her. You know, the key for Rogers is to not go fishing right here and help the cause. You want to be the hero, but be smart in the box.
What are you made of? High and wide, ball 1. And if you're Rogers, I think you need to learn from what you've seen these first 3 innings. Can't hit the ball in the air right now. You got to hit it hard somewhere. Line drive, ground ball.
Rip the cover off of it. And if you're Weiss, and if you're Weiss, I'm thinking you're going to try to go at her a little bit more inside low. It's awfully difficult for a player Abby Rogers' size to be able to get some good whip on that bat.
That last pitch was too low, and so it's 2-0, and Rogers rips it to left for a base hit. We are tied. Callie Yellen coming around, and she scores. It's a 2-run single, and the Hillcats take the lead for the first time today.
A ball that was left up hanging in the zone. And a nice job. Wheels going, 2 outs, bases loaded, runner coming around from second base. Excuse me, you know exactly that the motors are going and Yellen coming around to score easily. Good job by the outfield to get that ball quickly into second base and split those runners.
Here comes Alyssa Olagi. Weiss taken out of the game for now. Wasn't a bad pitch, but
no.
Rogers got on top of it this time.
Yeah, it was right up in that belt area of the zone. A good spot for Abby Rogers.
So Alyssa Olagi comes in a precarious spot, trying to keep this just a 1-run deficit. Olagi is on the precipice of some school history. She needs only one strikeout to tie her pitching coach, Stephanie Guerra, who at the time was Stephanie Jimenez. Stephanie's single-season strikeout record is 232, and Alyssa's at 231 at the moment this season. We've documented it throughout the course of the week, Leah. Lala struggled in those first couple of games, but I think as she got more comfortable with this stage, she settled down a bit. And yesterday, and frankly the day before, she almost looked like an entirely different pitcher.
Yes, I would agree. As things progressed, and for Olagi, we talked about how she's progressed through her collegiate career and become kind of timid going on there. And Coach Mayor's not phased. He's going to enjoy just a little bit of lunch watching his team get out of this inning. I love the cool and calmness. He's got that Cali swag for sure.
Weiss walked the bases loaded before giving up that hit. As Olagi hits the corner to Morales for strike one. That was 7 walks for Ashley Weiss, who struck out 2. She is responsible for both base runners here with 2 outs in the 4th. Bridget Morales in the air, shallow left. Jaime going back and makes the catch. Inning over, but not before the Hillcats can take the lead. Rogers State, a 2-run single from their top offensive player this week, Abby Rogers, who leads the tournament in RBIs, adds a couple more, and it's now 2-1 Hillcats as we hit the halfway point in the middle of the 4th. That's what they're playing for here today. One of these two schools will take home the national championship trophy for the first time ever. Dominguez Hills needs to win 2 games today. Rogers State with that walk-off home run yesterday from Callie Yellen. They have a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series. Yellen pinch hit for Nicole Price. Price has re-entered as the shortstop. And Jalen Gibson, who was pinch run for in the 4th inning, Rebecca Bell ran for her. Gibson is back in there at third base, so the left side of the infield intact with the starters once again, Price and Gibson. First pitch outside for ball 1. How do the Toros answer here now that they trail for the first time? Alex Davis, Kaylee Hull, Amara Labanog, the scheduled hitters.
Cut right back inside there on Davis.
Just over the circle, Price couldn't get her. Great hustle up the first baseline by Alex Davis. Saws off a single.
The only way that Price is going to make that play is if she barehands that ball, which is always dangerous. She's watching the speed, makes a heck of a throw off balance. The speed of Davis, too much.
So Kaylee Hull walked last time. And again, this is not your prototypical 9-hole hitter.
No,
I mean, Kaylee Hull can really hit the ball well.
Shows the balance of the lineup. And the other thing, too, is that every player some players don't feel comfortable in that 2-3 hole. They kind of want to go through a couple innings and get settled, and that's where they excel the best.
Hull has a great eye. She's drawn the 2nd most walks on the team this season. He's also got 7 home runs, which is tied for a team high with their cleanup hitter Lopez. Hit a big home run yesterday. 12 doubles, his third on the team. Freshman first baseman having a great year and a great tournament. And as you referenced yesterday, how often we see young players play well on this stage and have that carry over to their subsequent seasons. Leadoff runner on the infield single. Toros trying to tie it up. Off the plate. I know that frustrates Rogers State fans, but that's been a ball all game long on that outside corner. Morales and Weiss were both just trying to pick at that all day. Popped her up. Hull was starting to ask for time as Morales started her windup, and she pops out to third base. One gone. Here comes Amara Labanog.
For Cal State Dominguez Hills, third base, number 12, Amara
Labanog
Labanog.
with an attempt to bunt for a hit. Gibson flashes the leather at third base. Sacrifice complete. Or at least she moves the runner. I guess it'll probably be scored a sacrifice, but considering how late she showed, I don't think that was truly intended to be a sacrifice bunt. But at least the runner moved into scoring position now for Kiana Abalera.
And a good job by Watson over at first base. A little extra stretch towards the right field side with the speed of Labanog coming out of the box.
Hard grounder, Price picks it. That kid is an unbelievably good defensive shortstop. She's been the best defensive shortstop in the whole field this week. She can make every play going to her left, to her right, coming in on the ball, great arm, and Price keeps this a 2-1 game. That would have been much more comfortable on Thursday or Friday when it was 85 degrees. Instead, they pick when it's 57 and sunny to take the shirts off and do the body paint. I admire the spirit. Take a look at how we got here. We've had a lot of missed opportunities. This was an early sacrifice fly that gave the Toros their only run. Maya Lopez drove home a run in the bottom of the first. Then Abby Rogers, last half inning, a 2-run single to left field, scoring Callie Yellen from second base to give that go-ahead run. And it's 2-1 as we start the top of the fifth.
Toros have left a lot of runners on bases thus far, and you hope that for the Toros fans that doesn't come back to bite them.
They both have. Rogers State is stranded 9 through 4 innings. Cal State Dominguez Hills stranded 7 through 4 innings. Ashley Weiss taken out of the game. Alyssa Alagi pitching. She got Morales to pop out to end the fourth, and now she starts the fifth inning with Michaela Bowman. Reached on a strikeout wild pitch in the third. And to your point, you made this earlier that, Weiss wasn't pitching poorly. She was just, she's walked 7, but she was just kind of nibbling. Wasn't so much that she didn't have control with those 7 walks. But eventually came back to bite her.
Well, the folks here at Metropolitan State and are making a lot of youngsters in the stands very happy right now. They've given away within the last, minute and a half here, they're giving away game balls.
That's a really cool
while they
gesture.
last, and of course they're branded with the championship logo.
Awesome.
What a nice keepsake.
Yeah, look at that. That's
That's
sweet.
awesome.
Very cool. Wonder if maybe someday one of those young ladies will
Yep.
be playing for a national championship.
Absolutely. They're going to be the ones that will break the next set of records, right?
Bowman outside, ball 4. The 8th walk drawn by Rogers State hitters. They've also reached safely on a strikeout wild pitch. Rogers State leads 2-1, even though they only have 3 base hits. We're going to get another pinch runner. This time it's Marissa Smith running for Bowman. The batter is Alexis Watson.
Offensive change for Rogers State. Now running at first base, number 4, Marissa Smith.
Smith out there at first base, she's an interesting story. Found her love and passion for the game again, going back to Rogers State. Had kind of given up on it, had gotten hit in the face with a ball, and she said it was her time and opportunity to come back to Rogers State that kind of really set the table back up for her again to be back playing.
So important to capture that love and keep it in your heart when you have those tough moments. So often you can have teammates that make that huge difference for you too. As Watson hits one to right field that Davis got a little crossed up on.
Yeah, she was lucky too. She may have left first a little bit early there.
Meanwhile, Watson pretty frustrated with herself as she heads back to the dugout. She just can't buy a hit this week.
No.
Pretty unlike Watson, who is still hitting .331 on the season, despite the fact that with an 0 for 3 showing so far today, she is now 2 for 15 in this tournament. That's how good she's been this year. Alexis has played a good first base, helping her team that way. Jalen Gibson now walked twice. She scored. Well, technically, Rebecca Bell scored the run, but it was Gibson's walk that allowed it to come home in the first place. Chopped off the plate. That's a fair ball to the third baseman, Lobanog, whose throw is not handled well. Smith goes to third. She made a round at third base as the throw came to home plate.
I'll tell you what, Smith got hung up coming around third base and was obstructed a little bit by Lobanog. It was not caught by the umpires. Important insurance run is just a few feet away.
I look there at Gibson trying to evade Lobanog. He's charged with the error. We have not had any replays so far in this game. Each team, by now, I'm sure if you've watched this week, you know that each coaching staff is allowed to ask for the umpires to have a play reviewed twice. If you win your review, you don't get any additional ones. All those reviews are conducted off-site. Presnell bunting. It's put down. No play. Honestly, I know that's frustrating for the Toros, but that's the right decision. Hull didn't force it and was cognizant of not throwing the ball around.
Yep. What are you going to do? And exactly right. You kind of eat it. Al wasn't there.
Coach Mayer looks back into the dugout as he slowly walks out to the circle. So the Toros are facing a tough situation. The bases are loaded again with Hillcats with one out. Top of the fifth, Rogers State leads 2-1 on Abby Rogers' two-run single. Smith running at third, Gibson at second, Presnell at first. What do you think, partner?
Well, I think for Rogers State, they have an opportunity here to just kind of sit and get that pitch that they want. You know, they're in the driver's seat here, opportunity to really blow this game wide open. And really for Coach Mary, you know, he kind of spoke his piece, but very similar to what was going on with the team this morning when we saw them in pregame. He let them talk amongst themselves for a long. He's done his talking,
sure.
Right? So it's really on them to know where to go and what you want to do here with one out. Outfield really, really has to get this ball in extremely quick to the cutoffs and minimize the extension of bases by the Rogers State players.
Alagi misses down and away to Chelsea Spain. Sophomore second baseman has been their everyday second baseman all year long. She's had a pretty good season. This is her biggest at bat, though, for sure. Watches a called strike. Spain 0 for 3 today, 5 for 17 in this tournament. Olagi nibbling at that outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. National championship is not necessarily hanging in the balance on this at bat, but this certainly feels like a critical moment in this game. 3-1. The Hillcats have drawn 8 walks already. This is the start through the 4th time through the lineup. Taking all the way a called strike. There's only 1 out in the inning. Watson and that lazy little fly out to right field. Do or die time. Here's the break-even pitch to Chelsea Spain. In the air to center field, hit deep enough to get a run home. Back to the track, Abalera grabs it. Smith scores, Gibson tags to third. It's 3-1 Rogers State.
That may have been the hardest hit ball all day. And credit the outfield. Again, we talked about it prior to this pitch. Credit the outfield for the Toros for getting a beat on it and getting that ball in quickly. Yeah, that's the easiest run to come across in this scenario, shortest distance. But getting that ball back in a second and splitting those fielders, ever so key.
Price through the left side, base hit. A couple of runs here in the 5th. Rogers State has scored 4 unanswered runs, and the Hillcats are starting to feel it.
We felt last inning that like the top was ready to come off, right? And Price, who was pinch hit for Callie Yellen last time up, she has been solid. She tripled the first time up. And going to that left side once again, a big base knock there for the Ribby.
Still 2 outs in the inning. Looks like we are going to have Ashley Weiss come back out to the circle. Alagi unable to record a strikeout during this stint. She still sits at 231 strikeouts on the season. So Ashley Weiss re-enters into the game. Alagi still sits 1 strikeout shy from tying the single-season school record. In the meantime, there is some action down in the bullpen with Clarissa Ramirez getting loose. So Alagi's day is over. And the new batter for the Hillcats is Lana gas.
You know, and it's crazy to think that last inning we had three walks. We thought, yeah, you know, they were close. They could have gone the other way, just being protective pitching. And then all of a sudden the cover comes off here in the fifth with the base hits. And stringing some hits together and playing base-to-base softball right now to kind of open this game up with deuces.
So Alagi gives up 2 hits, walked 1, no strikeouts, 2 unearned runs on her line so far, but still responsible for the last couple of base runners. We're also going to have a pinch hitter here now. Taylor Redding has been announced as the pinch hitter for Atlanta Gas. Taylor's had a challenging season. Offensively, just hasn't played like she is typically shown capable of. In her senior season, she was a shortstop for the Hillcats, but between what Price has shown with her glove as a freshman and Redding's offensive challenges, she hasn't seen as much regular playing time, but she's been such a great teammate about it. Coaching staff has raved about how selfless she's been, especially with the way she's treated Kimmy Presnell out in center field. I've seen Redding play a little bit in the outfield as a sub this week. Upstairs.
Well, the one thing that Coach Vaughn had mentioned to us earlier in the week, and she reiterated it again last evening, was, you know, it's kind of next man up, and you better be ready. And my team has been ready with every opportunity.
Strikeout ends the inning. Redding is retired. But the Hillcats add 2 more. Spade, a sacrifice fly. Nicole Price, an RBI single. And after 4.5, it's 4-1 Hillcats.
We're all part of the community, and we all play a role in keeping our community safe. While you're watching today's game, keep an eye out for suspicious activity. If you see something suspicious, say something. State Dominguez Hills. Shortstop,
Callie Yellen wearing that terrific sombrero, the Powerade Cup hat.
Yep. Bedazzling.
It's a good looking hat. Clearly took a lot of time to put together. Hey, when you come up with a couple of big home runs the way she has, you can wear whatever you want. Outfield looks a little bit different here this half inning. I'll tell you about the outfield in a second, but we had to model that hat. You know,
Absolutely. I was
had to find them, have some fun.
Very impressed with the way that she took the bottoms of the cups off of the hat that you were wearing for danglies. And in my hat, it was definitely too big. It was too big when she made it, but being the intelligent collegiate athlete that she is, she fitted it by adding cups inside to fill the spacing.
Love it. Price makes another put out. No shortage of fun in that Hillcat dugout for sure. The Toros trying to manufacture some fun of their own right now. Jaime rarely put out to open up this inning. Now Valencia. In the meantime, I'll tell you about those defensive changes. Marissa Smith has stayed in the game. She's playing left field. Taylor Redding has stayed in. She's in center field. And I think that's Presnell. I'll confirm in a minute. Yep, Kim Presnell out in right. Marissa Smith pinch ran for Bowman last half inning.
Oh!
Nice snag by Morales. 2 outs. Valencia retired for the first time today.
She gained a couple inches on that stretch. You know, and the crazy thing is when Morales finishes her motion in the circle, you typically want to be square so that you're in that ready position to make the play. But with the velocity that she's throwing, the spin she's trying to come off the rubber, she's a little bit more sideways and open. And made a heck of a grab on that ball that was tailing up in the sky.
Bottom of the 5th, and all of a sudden the Toros offense needs to get going. They were playing out front, led 1-0 after 3, despite the fact the Hillcats had a bunch of chances, hadn't given up a run. But the last couple innings, crooked numbers for Rogers State. There's a hard ground ball from Maya Lopez, right back through the middle, base hit. Lopez had the RBI with the sac fly in the first, and now she has a 2-out single as the Toros try to get something going here. Alyssa Olagi's final line, by the way, 1 inning, 2 unearned runs, 2 hits, 1 walk. Morales took a line drive off the shin, the second batter she saw. But I have a hunch that you're going to have to take her off on a stretcher to take her out of the national championship game. There's no way she was coming out of the game unless she couldn't stand up. And she has really toughed it out. And come back to buckle down and pitch pretty well as Al lofts one into left field. What an opportunity! Holy smokes! Smith with a great sliding catch. Wow!
The fact that she was able to hold on to that ball, turning her glove the opposite way, and the ground not able to shake that ball loose. Everybody's pumped up for Rogers State. They lead it 4-1.
Well, we're moving on to the top of the 6th inning. Rogers State only needs to win 1 of 2 potential games today to win a national championship. They have a 4-1 lead at the moment. I want to take a second just to say thank you to our crew who has worked so hard all week long. We so appreciate all of their time and effort. All of it is the 15th game of the week, and whether this one is the last game or the second game of a potential doubleheader wraps it up, we are really grateful for everybody weathering the storms, literally. We did have a couple of weather delays this week. It was largely a good weather week, but long days, especially when you have 4 games in a day a couple of times. Abby Rogers safe at first base on that mishandled ball. So big thank you to our crew who's done a terrific job covering this national championship tournament. Danny, Michael, Kevin, and Tom, our 4 camera guys, have done a really good job. James and Alec and Greg, our producer. Thanks very much, guys, for all your work. So Abby Rogers aboard at first base, and because she's already had a pinch runner go for her once, they're They're going to leave her in the game here, or else they'll not be able to put her back in. Plus, Callie Yellen, the team's secondary catcher, is already pinch hit in this game, so Rogers is running. Bridget Morales. It has been a frustrating defensive week for the Toros, that's for sure. 2 more errors today. They've committed 12 in this tournament. Leah, earlier this week against North Georgia, they had 5 errors in the first 3 innings of the first elimination game, but they still won the game 8-6 because they banged out 17 base hits. You don't often see a team win a game when they commit 5 errors, but that's just how resilient this Toros team has been. They don't care what the score is. They don't care what time of the game it is. Just give them a chance.
A lot of game left, too, and they just kept punching away, and tearing apart.
Weiss to second. Jaime can't turn the double play. Good hustle by Morales, but really good try defensively there.
Great job just throwing at the bag and doing a good job getting it right to bag. Just safe at first base.
Morales was the runner, but Rogers State is going to bring in Jackie Zafaris. And it looks like Michaela Bowman is coming back to the plate, so she's going to re-enter for Marissa Smith, who made that great diving catch to end bottom of the 5th inning. So no at-bats for Smith. Bowman's had an impact today. Walked and scored. Her spot scored last time up. She reached on a wild pitch when she had struck out in the 3rd inning and grounded out to third base in the 1st inning. Of course, yesterday when the Hillcats were down 5-4, she had the game-tying RBI single that set the stage for that walk-off drama. This ball's hit decently well down the right field line, but foul. Good hustle by Davis. One on, one out, top of the 6th. Toro fans haven't lost faith, but a little nervous at the moment. Socked, foul. Rogers State 2 in the 4th inning. Abby Rogers had a 2-run single to give them the 2-1 lead. And then last inning, Spain a sac fly, Price an RBI single. As Bowman shoots one through the right side, base hit. That sends Davis to the fence. Zafaris on her horse. Here she comes. Throw to the plate is late. 5-1 Hillcats.
Sharply hit ball to right field, and Zafaris, she's coming around so hard around third base. I thought she was just going to run through the wall, up the stands, and back out the stadium again. Ball that goes all the way to the fence. It was so sharply hit.
Alexis Watson watches ball 1. 5 unanswered runs for the 2nd day in a row now for the Hillcats. And they're a called strike. Rogers State entered the week as the number 5 seeded team. Watson on the ground left side. And they throw across and get the out, although it kind of looked like Labanog probably could have tagged Bowman. At least they get the out. Bowman advances to third. Productive out there for Watson, moves the runner. Here's Jalen Gibson, who does not have a hit, but she's been on base 3 times and scored twice. How about that?
Getting it done any way you can.
Cal State Dominguez Hills was the 8 seed this week. Just goes to show you that it doesn't really matter what you're seeded. Everybody's hot coming in, and put the bracket together, go play the games and see what happens. I mentioned Central Oklahoma, the last team from Oklahoma to win the national title. Of course, Rogers State beat the Broncos in the Super Regionals in a crazy cool atmosphere on RSU's campus. Great regional rivalry between those two schools. Broncos have such great athletic programs, great tradition. That was a big deal for the Hillcat fan base to beat the Broncos on a stage like that and punch their ticket here for the first time ever.
Oof.
3-0 was grooved right down the middle. Ball 4. Ninth walk drawn by Hillcat hitters, and third for Gibson. First and third with 2 outs, and Jim Mayer out to the circle. So the batter will be Kimberly Presnell, who had that great bunt single last time up. 1 for 3. That was the play that Hull had to just kind of swallow it and stick it in her back pocket. Presnell's had a great tournament.
Very smart is Presnell in recognizing how the infield is, where they're at, sizing up the play. That's not a Coach Vaughn call. That's recognizing where the defense is and trying to make something happen for your team.
Weiss hits the outside corner. Michaela Bowman at third after her RBI double made it 5-1. Third straight inning, the Hillcats have brought home a run. Gibson on the delayed steal. Bowman into home plate.
Did the run score?
The run counts. The run came across first. It works for the Hillcats. They manufacture another. 2 runs in the 6th inning before Gibson could be tagged out. And it's now 6-1, Rogers State in the middle of the 6th. Denver, Colorado's been a great host.
Sweet.
Pretty cool concert at the world-famous Red Rock Amphitheater last night. The place is always jam-packed, and it's one of the coolest places in the country to see a show if you're ever in town.
Hard ticket to get last night with Gary Clark Jr. in town.
Absolutely.
But you're absolutely right. Whether it's a concert or not a concert, go out to Red Rocks, walk around the park, walk around the amphitheater. Many times there are bands that are just kind of tuning up a little bit, and you can hear how the sounds just rock off the rocks out there.
Bottom third of the order due up for the Toros. Sturm, Davis, and Hull, the scheduled batters. That one misses the corner. Bowman back in the game in left field. Taylor Redding still playing in center. And Presnell remains the right fielder. No changes around the diamond. What a grab, dropped Gibson from her knees, and they throw her out. Holy Toledo.
That's how you protect the line. And Gibson, on that knockdown, takes away what definitely would have been extra bases. Late innings, guarding the line and throwing from her knees to make the out at first base. Great job.
Alex Davis, 1 for 2 with an infield single. Toros still have 5 outs left to play with. They don't have any time to waste, down a handful. Sometimes those last few outs are the hardest to get when you know what's at stake.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you do. Corners or, late innings, you're guarding the lines. You're taking away the extra base hits. Everybody's got a job. Everybody's backing up, maybe backing up a little bit more. Sweet play defensively.
In the air to right, long run in. Presnell grabs it. 2 outs in the 6th. Kaylee Hull has walked and popped out. Rogers State has scored 6 runs, but only 2 of those are earned runs. All 4 runs the last 2 innings unearned against Olagi and Weiss. High pop-up left side, and the Hillcats offensively will come to the plate. Trying to add some insurance. They need only 3 more outs defensively to win their first national title in program history. We're heading to the 7th on NCAA.com. National championship trophy is going home with one of these 2 schools by the end of the afternoon. And right now, Rogers State fans are drooling. They can taste it. Leading 6-1 going to the 7th inning. If you joined us a little late, I'm Brendan Gulick along with Leah Secondo. It's been a fun week here in Denver. The Hillcats lead by 5. Going to try to add to their lead, and then their defense needs to hold strong. But considering the fact that we've seen a couple of innings this week, where the Toros have scored 5 runs or more in an inning, this is not over yet.
No, nobody should breathe any sigh of relief until that third out is captured.
Was that down? No, she caught it. Abelera with a fabulous diving catch. I thought for a moment she may have picked it off the turf, but it's a really good catch to start the 7th.
Good jump. And with no runners on, you make that chance, and a great job coming in. It's always great on the turf, too, because you know you're going to slide just a little bit more.
Heck of an effort by Kiana Abelera. Chelsea Spain takes outside. Last time up, she hit a big sacrifice fly that extended the lead to 3-1. That was back in the 5th inning. The Hillcats gave up a run on a sac fly in the 1st. Spain, a little cue shot past the circle. Shanoa Au gets the 2nd out. And there's 2 gone now. Rogers State a 2-run single in the 4th from Abby Rogers. Spain a sac fly, Price an RBI single in the 5th. Bowman had an RBI double in the 6th, and they scored a run on a delayed steal. Price has had a good day. She's walked and scored, had the RBI single I just mentioned, her first triple of the season, and she's flown out to left field on a great diving catch and foul ground by Valencia. Bunted up the third baseline, foul. If you're thinking ahead for the Toros, they've got the top of the order coming up in the 7th. Labanog, Abelera, and Jaime. In the air toward Valencia. And it's a quick top of the 7th inning. The Hillcat defense going to get locked in. They are 3 outs away from a national championship. It's been a fun week in Denver. And the Toros from State Dominguez Hills are going to need some serious late game magic if they're going to force the if necessary Game 3 in this national championship tournament. The Toros are going to their bench. Daphne Bravo will lead off the inning batting for Labanog. Bravo does have 1 at bat this week. First pitch swinging, hits a screamer to first base. 1 out.
Couldn't even get settled in your seat here in the 7th inning. And Bravo trying to hop on that first pitch. Watson at first, making a nice stab.
So there's 1 out for Kiana Abelera. Down and away from Morales.
Spain given a lot of room at second base on the grass.
On the ground to third. Gibson throws it across, and there's 2 away. The last hope for the Toros has been their offensive star, Raquel Jaime, who has 16 hits this week. She has broken the all-time Division II record dating back to 1982 for most hits in a national championship tournament. First pitch swinging, fouling out of play. Jaime has singled, doubled, and grounded out. The Hillcats were down 1-0 in the first, but they've scored 6 unanswered runs for the second day in a row. On the ground to second, Chelsea Spain throws out the final runner. Celebration. Party time in Claremore, Oklahoma. The Hillcats, for the first time in program history, they are national champions.
Special moments right there, etched in history forever, are the Hillcats on this season. Coaching staff also sharing in that moment as well. It's been a long year for them as well. Coach Vaughn and her staff together, what a great job. And celebrating the pinnacle in Division II softball.
Hard to imagine a more fitting end of the week for the Rogers State Hillcats, who went 5-0 this week in Denver. They pitched it well. They were easily the best defensive team this week. They committed 2 errors in 5 games. That's it. On a week that dominated frustrating fielding mistakes. They were clean. They came up with a bunch of clutch hits. Gosh, it is freezing cold outside. That's going to feel pretty good, I would imagine.
And we just didn't have enough in there to finish it off, so now it is.
Rogers State. Hard to know if you could pick a real true hero this week. I guess Abby Rogers, statistically, probably their best offensive player. But you can't tell the full story of the Hillcats without acknowledging Callie Yellen, who had 2 big home runs, including a 3-run pitch hit homer earlier this week. Her game-winning walk-off homer, she's the one holding the RSU Hillcat flag. She's quite a hero. Drea Morales pitched so much this week. One of the all-time great pitchers in Division II history. Caps off a great week with a national championship victory. What an impressive week for Kimberly Presnell. I know it's a tough day for the Toros. They fought quite hard.
Heads up high, and I like that. Classy. Standing on the line quick, heads up high. Your crown can't fall when your head is up high. And they rightfully have deserved a crown as well. Great year for the Toros. Great year for the program. Says so much for Coach Mayer and his staff.
277 teams played Division II college softball. And these are the last 2 standing. What a great week. Thank you so much to our hosts at MSU Denver. They've been fabulous each of the last 3 national championship tournaments. We can't wait to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee for the 2023 national championship tournament. But there's going to be plenty of celebrating outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma for these Hillcats. I hope they get a hero's welcome when they come home, because they were fun to watch in this national championship winning week. Final line score, Rogers State, 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They stranded 11. Cal State Dominguez Hills, 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 8. Morales, the winning pitcher, 38-4 this season. Ashley Weiss, the losing pitcher today. She falls to 21-9. We will stay here on NCAA.com for the trophy presentation, so you can certainly stick around and enjoy that. They'll recognize both teams with their individual and team trophies on this field. But Leah, one more time, big thanks to our entire production crew, and great working with you again this week.
You as well. And our crew this week was spectacular. They went up and above and beyond to get some great shots of the city, capture the moments, and really the spectacle of what this event is really all about.
An emotional moment for Andrea Vaughn and her coaching staff. They have dreamed of this moment for a long, long time. Rogers State softball, they've only been around for 16 years, but they are the last team standing. They win the national championship for the first time in program history to cap off an incredible week here in Denver, Colorado. For Leah Secondo and our entire production crew, I'm Brendan Gulick. Please keep it here on NCAA.com for the trophy presentation. In the meantime, congratulations to Rogers State. They are your 2022 national champions.
The 2022 NCAA Division II Softball Championship All-Tournament Team. From Rogers State senior Andrea Morales. From Cal State Dominguez Hills sophomore Ashley Weiss. From Rogers State, Abby Rogers. From Cal State Dominguez Hills, Raquel Jaime. From University of North Georgia, Madison Perry. University of Texas, Tyler Courtney Plocek. From Rogers State, Nicole Price. University of Texas, Tyler Amanda Merrick. From Rogers State, Kimberly Fresnel. University of North Georgia, Mallory Parker. From Cal State Dominguez Hills, Maya Lopez. From Cal State Dominguez Hills, Kiana Avalera. From Rogers State, Chelsea Spain. And our most outstanding player for the tournament, from Cal State Dominguez Hills, Raquel Jaime. And now let's present the individual awards for each team. Your runner-up, from Cal State Dominguez Hills, junior Alyssa Oagi. Freshman Janessa Hebreo. Freshman Clarissa Ramirez. Senior Claudia Valencia. Senior Raquel Jaime. Freshman Sydney Diaz. Freshman Haley Garcia. Sophomore Kiana Avalero. Senior Genoa Au. Freshman Amara Lavona. Freshman Maya Lopez. Freshman Kaylee Hull. Freshman Angelina Alderetti. Sophomore Ashley Weiss. Freshman Daphne Bravo. Freshman Alex Davis. Freshman Rosie Maldonado. And junior Caitlin Stern. Assistant coach Lexi Madrid. Assistant coach Stephanie Guerra. Assistant coach Katie Garcia. Weiss. Freshman Bridget Morales. Freshman Abby Rogers. Sophomore Rebecca Bell. Sophomore Marissa Smith. Sophomore Jackie Seferis. Sophomore Courtney Hill. Sophomore Chelsea Spade. Sophomore Callie Yellen. Sophomore Lana Gass. Sophomore Kitty Presnell. Sophomore Michaela Hillman. Junior Natalie Gonzalez. Junior Alondra Natera. Junior Jalen Gibson. Senior Riley Delosier. Senior Kelly Redding. Senior Michaela Bowman. Senior Alexis Watson. Senior Andrea Morales. Athletic trainer Trey Robertson. Assistant coach Steve Scott. Assistant coach Danelle Day. Assistant coach Brent Payne. Assistant coach Mallory Moss. And head coach Andrea Vaughn. Accepting the team's national championship trophy, Andrea Morales, Alexis Watson, Michaela Bowman, Riley Delosier, and Tammy Redding. Fans and all those in the stands, let's once again give a round of applause for all of these outstanding student athletes. This concludes the 2022 NCAA Division II Softball Championship. We look forward to seeing you next year in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We thank you for attending today's game. Please drive home safely. Also, we thank you once again for your support. Have a safe trip home. Take care.